Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 9 of the Chosen One Star Wars podcast here on Game Domain. Today, we are going to be taking a look at and reviewing the completely pointless and boring episode 7 of season 7 of Star Wars The Clone Wars, titled Dangerous Debt. As always, I'm your host, Jason, along with my co host, Leah.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope you're doing well.
And Captain.
Hi.
So this episode was pretty pointless yet again. There was really absolutely nothing that went on in this episode. Where this episode ended was exactly where this episode started. You could have skipped it completely. Obviously, there was one blaring plot point that appeared kind of in the middle of the episode, which we will touch on when we're talking about the very few plot points that actually happened in this episode. But why don't we start with Leah? Why don't you just give some of your thoughts on the episode 7?
Well, you said it pretty well. We started in a jail cell, right?
Yeah.
They broke out of jail. Okay, good on them. They figured out how to pick a lock, I guess, right? Even though that's not exactly what happened, but regardless, they got out of the jail cell. A little bit of hijinks ensued. What's her name? Rafa, right?
Rafa.
The younger sister.
No, the younger sister's Trace.
Trace. Trace
the
was
older
like,
bitchy sister's
with
Rafa.
her well, before they got out, I think Rafa was actually being interrogated, right? And she was getting electrocuted, which I think pretty tough on her, right? If anything, that's gonna make her
I
more
was
bitchy.
loving that scene. I was when they sorry to interrupt, but when they took her in and then she was like, if I die, I was like, oh, please just kill her. I was hoping somebody would take out a lightsaber or something and just chop her head off. But,
yeah, when she was like, if I'll die, you get the family business.
You get the family
and then she's like, bitch, I don't want no family business.
I was hoping she was gonna die, but it continued.
So she ended up getting tortured or whatever, and then her sister went in and get tortured, but she's a little bit more slicker, I guess, or she has more plot armor.
Yeah, more plot armor because she has no skills whatsoever in combat, but somehow managed to pull that off.
She pulled a quick one on the droids and took them out, with that little blaster. Then she went to go rescue them, and they crashed into each other. Oh, we were supposed to rescue you. Oh, I was rescuing you.
Yeah,
okay,
that was a couple of things.
Yeah, and so
that was just some wasted time banter.
Yeah, it's just some random funny crap. Like everyone's trying to be the Avengers. Just put random funny quips here and there. Life's not like that. What else? It was such a forgettable episode. It's already fading from my memory.
To be all we really had was the escape, right? After that, all the way we had was the escape, right?
Yeah. Then they jumped across a little bridge, and then Ahsoka used her force power to push her away, and then they were in that like little port where there was a bunch of people there where they kind of got away from them, and then the homeless guy's like, "Hey, got any credits?" Like, "No, we don't got no damn credits. Get away from me."
Yeah.
And then
and then he pulled up the bounty thing, and then they found him.
He's like, "Well, if you got some credits, I'll tell you where they're at." And then they got captured again, and then that's where we're I think that's where the interesting plot point that you were talking about earlier. I'll let you handle that part when the time comes. That happened, and then Ahsoka, quote unquote, rescued them with that little like high tech forklift that they had, but they ended up getting captured anyways, and they ended up back in jail.
So just a completely pointless circle. We literally just came back exactly where we started, and So Captain, why don't you give us some of your thoughts on this joke of an episode?
There we go. There are my thoughts on that. Seriously, that episode was actually that boring. It was that boring trying to come up with an intro for this entire episode. It was exceptionally hard. Like, normally I do the funny little kooky intros at the beginning, but I struggled to put pen to paper with this one because nothing happens at all. Now, it could have gone somewhere if
the Mandalorians kind of just stepped in or something.
Yeah, because the thing we were hinting at, like, something happened at the thing. I can't remember. It's the Obi-Wan's squeeze who died. Her sister, who's part of
Duchess Satine.
Duchess Satine.
Yeah.
Her sister, the redhead with the jetpack, she pops up in this, though she's wearing a helmet, but you can tell by the voice actor.
Yeah.
That was the only interesting thing to happen. Like, I was hoping that like at the beginning, Rafa gets taken out of the cell. and she's getting tortured. I was like, please, just that weird robot, snap a neck, stab your little electro claws in her eyes.
She wouldn't even shut up when she was about to get tortured.
Exactly.
Yeah, she wouldn't even shut the hell up.
She has no character arc whatsoever. She just turns up.
If she would have died, it would have been a better character arc. If they would have killed her in front of Trace or something dramatic.
If her character arc was they take her back to the cell, and then the guy taking her just snaps her head like three, not just a 180, but a 360 full twist back to the beginning. That would have been the best character arc in existence for that character. But I mean, what really annoyed me was like they take Trace out, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna faint," and then she faints, and then she grabs the blaster. But what I don't get is why the other 4 people in the fucking room don't immediately go, "Oh my god, let's shoot her."
Let's grab a blaster.
Yeah, and then she takes everybody out almost in one shot, even having never fired a blaster ever.
Captain, you know why? She's the best
Because
smuggler in the galaxy. Best pilot and best
Angel.
smuggler. Come on now.
What is it, the Silver Angel or the Starlight Angel? The
Silver Angel. But she's like capping bitches left, right, and center. She's busting caps in people's asses and shit. And nothing in any of the 3 episodes previous could have set up the fact that she knew even how to like turn the safety off on these things. Oh god, it was so fucking stupid. She literally, it's like Trace turns up. She's a Mary Sue. She's good at everything. She's the best pilot in the galaxy. She can apparently shoot. She can T-16 people, but with a blast pistol, she can shoot. The legs off a womp rat 2 billion miles away. And then when they finally get out, she's like, "Oh look, there's my ship up there," and then climbs up onto a little ledge, thinking that that's going to get her a better vantage point. It's like, we need my ship because it is ship. And it's like, yes, character arc. Well done. What is the story arc for this episode? Ship. Right? Is that it? Escape. Anything else? The guy who sets the most obvious trap in existence when they capture Rafa and Trace, and then Ahsoka turns up to save him in that little loading thing, and he's like, "I knew if I left them out in the open, you would come for them." I expected him to immediately do the cheesy, dubbed over Chinese cinema laugh where he goes, "Ha ha 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 ha," but his lips don't move. Because at no point did he even predict that would happen. Like, that was there just so they could be recaptured and put into the same fucking cell at the end of the video.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I'm legitimately losing the will to live with this fucking show. The only good thing about this show was the fact that it potentially set up the Mandalorians for the next episode, and then with a possibility of a 5-episode Mandalorian arc starting next episode. Highly doubtful. Yeah, but
we'll get into that after we finish up our thoughts with this episode. But I just want to quickly touch on what was. Wait, did you have anything else to finish up on?
How the hell have they not discovered that Ahsoka is a Jedi?
Trace just thinks she magically propels herself into the front.
Well, it was like when she does the jump.
Yeah,
they're looking right at her, and she super jumps, and then they immediately look down. It's like,
how did they not see? How could they have not seen that Ahsoka went just straight over their heads?
Dude, she's more athletic than she looks. Come on, now.
Yeah, right. I mean, come on. I can admit that. Because she's a different species, she might have stronger leg capacity than humans. If she said, "I'm an alien, I've got better jumping than you," I'd let that off. Not, I'm more flexible.
More athletic. Look, when the best pilot in the galaxy is across from you, it gives you extra energy to jump across.
Yeah.
You got
to when Trace jumped, I was expecting her to jump, turn into the Silver Angel, fly across,
outlandish,
land on the other side, go, "Oh yeah, Darth Sidious, he's actually the Emperor, who's actually Palpatine. We should go back and we should stab him in the face with the Silver Angel because I'm so good at fucking everything." It's just, we're going to kamikaze the Silver Angel into the Senate building and take it out so the Jedi don't die in the future episodes. And then that'd be the best fourth one.
The Silver Angel's now a time travel device.
Yeah, no, they get in it, and there's like a fucking console from the TARDIS. It's like, dude. You can tell I'm slowly going insane.
think Captain's
That's just
having a
how
hardcore
horrible-
laugh attack right there.
That's just how horrible this episode is that we can't do it.
Someone kill me now.
All right, so moving on into some of my thoughts here. I just want to first I want to start off with probably my least favorite little exchange or scene in maybe definitely all this season, maybe even all of the Clone Wars is when you hear the little story about how the Jedi, they crashed. I don't even remember exactly what it was, but they crashed their ship into Trace and Rafa's like home and like killed their parents, and then they just said like, "Oh yeah, may the Force be with you. You'll be fine," and walked away. I mean, it's just you take these two pointless characters and just turn them into like Force's female Jedi are bad, powerful old men sitting in a council. They're all horrible, right? They're innately just horrible. And then I mean it's just we keep getting this in the newer Star Wars. I mean, we got it in like The Last Jedi with Luke saying that the Jedi are inherently bad, and now we're getting the same exact thing now in this. And it's just now all of this new Disney Star Wars is just telling us of how horrible the Jedi are, and that they're it's just involving more into like that they're just bad people, and they make you see the bad things about them. And I love how when Rafa is telling that in-depth story, how Ahsoka's kind of just sitting there and she's contemplating it, and you would think that would be, but based on the story that's being told to her, you would think that would be her way of like, yeah, I'm never going back to the Jedi Order. But we know that she's eventually going back, so it doesn't. That's where it doesn't really make sense. But then obviously, like maybe like a story like that could play into why maybe she's not, because they say she's technically not a gray Jedi, but why she what she says to Vader in the season 2 finale of Rebels, I'm no Jedi or whatnot. But I mean, obviously we know that she goes back to the Order at some point. I mean, it's going to be for like 2 episodes, maybe a couple of hours. She calls herself a Jedi again and then just disappears again. But after Order 66. But I mean, that whole little exchange, it's meant to like make you feel like emotional for like these characters like losing their family. But I mean, I'm going to be completely honest, I did not care, because I don't care about the characters, about their family. I mean, I'd much rather care if, who was the Jedi who was on that mission who said, "Oh, may the Force be with you." That would be more interesting to me than the identity of Trace and Rafa's parents. I mean, it doesn't like make any effect on me by thinking like, man, maybe the Jedi are bad, and they don't have the best interests of the Republic and the people of Coruscant, the galaxy. They don't have their best interests in their mind. But then I mean, that's just not, that's what it's meant to make you feel. But obviously, most of us, most Star Wars fans, we don't care. We know, we obviously all like the Jedi, and just a stupid, pointless little story like that takes up a couple minutes of this season is just completely unneeded and ridiculous. And then basically, I mean, just overall, this whole episode, we start obviously with them in there. Rafa gets off to get tortured. Then they drop her back off. I mean, I was hoping that she was dead and wouldn't wake up, but they drop her back off. Then Ahsoka's kind of sitting there, and then and then when and then they bring Trace in. Trace escapes with her incredible combat skills that I don't think Luke Skywalker in A New Hope would have been able to. I mean, you look at Luke in A New Hope, and he's struggling to fire a blaster bullet across a little ledge to a stormtrooper who's probably like 15 feet in front of him and maybe a couple more feet above, and he's struggling to hit him, but yet Trace pulls off this incredibly acrobatic athletic. Maybe Trace is just more athletic than she looks.
Maybe she's a Jedi.
Yeah, maybe she is a Jedi. I mean, who knows? Maybe Ahsoka will bring her back, and Master Yoda will say, "Much metachlorians we sense in you, young Trace." We have no idea. we have no idea what they might do with her. But I mean, and then just like the complete, like, Leah, like you said, the plot armor that just got her out of there. And then Ahsoka, I mean, Ahsoka just keeps using the Force, and it's like how nobody else fucking realizes ridiculous. She's like, oh, somebody must have hit it when they walked by. I'm pretty sure that's what she said.
Oh, no, it's like there was a power outage.
Power outage, as she uses the Force to press the button. Also, why didn't she think of that earlier? I mean, I know the guards ran down the hallway, but still, you could still do that, and I think Ahsoka could handle those 2 guards. But for all we know, maybe Ahsoka would struggle with those 2 guards, and then Trace would come in and shoot both of them in the head, and that would just show us how amazing Trace is, because that wouldn't be surprising at all. But I mean, it's just and then she takes Rafa out with her, and then like that stupid little back and forth, and then Ahsoka's like, tiebreaker, we're going this way. I mean, it's just the playful banter between the sisters. I mean, nobody cares. I mean, just frankly, Disney, I'm sorry, but nobody cares. Why? I mean, they keep interjecting it into the story, into the plot of these episodes in this arc, and we just don't relate to it. We don't really care about it. And then then the whole escape sequence. And to be completely honest, if they would have somehow ended up getting on the silver, I just laughed.
Silver Angel.
The Silver Angel. If they would have made it to the freaking Silver Angel and would have escaped, I would have said, all right, it was just it was a typical plot armor escape trip. Whatever they got up. But to wrap it up with just putting them exactly where we started was just so stupid and pointless. I mean, there was just absolutely no reason to literally just put it exactly where we started. I mean, it just made there was no plot development in this entire episode. You could just skip it entirely. You could go from episode 6 and then turn on episode 8 next week, and you would know absolutely nothing other than when the Mandalorians come to help them or whatever and bring them back. Then you just you would know that they were in that episode. You wouldn't know that they already saw Ahsoka and whatnot and were familiar and remembered her. You wouldn't know that. But other than that, that wouldn't even make that much of a difference. So I mean, it's just a completely pointless episode. I will admit the escape sequence, although heavily favored by plot armor because somehow those highly skilled Pike Syndicate criminal droid chasers weren't able to hit a target moving in a straight line at a jogging speed. They weren't able to hit Rafa or Trace or Ahsoka or anybody. I mean, it just absolutely nothing happened in this episode yet again. And this episode just continues to make me annoyed at how we're wasting valuable episode time for this season. And obviously this is the final season of the Clone Wars. I mean, we're lucky to at least have gotten more of it and ended on the right note that Dave Filoni always wanted to end it on. But I mean, to just waste it with this pointless arc. And I mean, obviously now we got to hit at those Mandalorians. We know that that's where this is going, to the Siege of Mandalore and to the eventual execution of Order 66, which now we know will most likely get within these last 5, or if not 4 episodes, definitely. And I mean, I don't know if 4 episodes. I'm hoping these 4 episodes are at least 30 minutes long. If we're getting 4 episodes, or if we're getting 3 more, let's just say this next episode next week. I mean, now we'll kind of weave this into our next topic of discussion, which is a preview for the end of this arc and forward. So I mean, I'll just start off quickly by saying, I mean, now if we're looking to next week, let's say somehow they escape and whatnot, and then like you said, you guys were saying before, that we end off with kind of that in this episode we kind of end off with Ahsoka. That scene from the trailer with Ahsoka getting her Legion. Somehow Anakin finds her and takes her back in. I mean, obviously, we have no idea what the hell is going to happen with Trace or Rafa, because obviously they can't be utilized as they can't. It's not like the Rebellion or something where they can just take them in as fighters. It's not like that. So they're not going to be taken in as fighters. Maybe both of them. Maybe the Silver Angel will get shot down. I mean, and Ahsoka won't be on it. That would be amazing. But I mean, yeah, so that's going to have to be somehow tied into episode 8. And then by episode 9, the latest, we're going to have to start off on this new arc, and we're going to have 9 episodes. And I would presume that we're going to have 3 episodes of maybe around 30-minute lengths. I hope 30-minute lengths. I hope these episodes get a little longer, because I just don't think 20, 21, 22 minutes is gonna do diligence for this Siege of Mandalore arc. And then I'm assuming that probably the finale of the season and the finale of the show as a whole will probably be in the 45 minutes to an hour range. Just I mean, that would probably encompass Order 66. I'm sure that finale is going to have that duel between Maul and Ahsoka, and we'll see kind of where they split from there. Foreshadowing for Rebels. But I mean, yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we're left with now. So why don't we start with Leo? Do you have what are your thoughts on what you think we're going to see next or this week, this coming Friday, and how you think this plays into the whole end of the season as a whole and this whole final arc?
Well, before we get into that, there was a scene where I want to say rip to one of the people chasing them, the dastardly trio of the amazing pilot, the best pilot in the galaxy, the biggest biatch in the galaxy.
I was about to say the bitchy sister.
And Ahsoka, the Jedi.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember, there were hanging on to like I think it was
They pulled a I had a name for it and I've just forgot the name of the movie. It's a Schwarzenegger movie.
which one?
It's the one where it's the one that they made the remake, Total Recall. They pull a Total Recall on him.
Oh,
Are you talking about the elevator scene where like they're going up?
Yeah. That's the one.
Yeah. Literally, when that happened and like the stuff and it cut away, I went, "See you at the party, Richter," because that's what he does in the movie. But yeah, no, go on.
I was like, that is a gruesome death right there.
That is.
That's a bad way to
for kids show.
Now I remember
Yeah,
what
it
you're
is.
talking about.
Especially
Well,
for-
yeah, normally they'd show kind of that like happening, but you know, in the Clone Wars,
Yeah, they
always
panned
cut
away from it,
They
like-
always pan away from somebody dying right when you know they're about to die.
I was like, God damn, the best pilot in the galaxy just killed some poor bastard. she's the best murderer in the galaxy too when it comes to
She just held that fucker there and watched him die.
essentially, yeah. She's not phased at it by all. She just gave a
Yeah.
squeamish face. All right, I'm good. You know, moving on.
So you want to talk about what we're gonna see?
Yeah. So moving on from our Arnold Schwarzenegger shenanigans, I think unfortunately we're gonna get a lot more bogus episodes with these trio, these two new characters that are not the best in my opinion, but you know.
So you think that they're gonna somehow play into the Siege of Mandalore? At the end, you think?
I think it's a possibility. You know, there's always a possibility for everything,
Yeah,
statistically speaking and stuff. But I don't know. Maybe the best pilot in the galaxy. You know, Ahsoka, I'm here to help you, and like Ahsoka's like, oh my gosh, you guys came to help me, and that's how she gets out of Mandalore via the.
And then maybe they'll both die in the
via the silver turd. You know, they just fly off. But for the next episode, I see them actually escaping. You know. And more hijinks.
Wait, you don't think the next episode's gonna end off exactly like how this one ended up? You don't think they'll escape and get put back right where they started? Because
no,
I
think for the next one they'll get off. I think we've had enough of this BS.
All right, thank God.
And is it gonna be good? Probably not. You know, probably more of what we see with their hijinks. But on the bright side, if I'm correct, this should be the last one where we're with this retarded freaking plot where, hey, look, we got out of jail. Oh, well, we're back where we started. I guess not.
Yeah,
that's my thoughts on it. So you guys can go ahead.
So, Catherine, you want to give some of your thoughts on what we're gonna see?
Yeah, we're going to see Rafa die.
Oh, thank
She's
God.
going to be torn in two.
We said this last week and it didn't happen.
by the Silver. The Silver Angel's going to jump to light speed, and she's just
it's going to jump to time travel. It's going to jump to time travel on their way to assassinate Palpatine.
The Silver Angel's going to take off, and then it's going to start going. It's going to time travel back in time, and you know she's going to be like, "I'm not going to dump the spice," and then we don't have to deal with this terrible fucking cat. But the next episode is most likely. The Mandalorian chicks will be like, beep, boop, boop on the little arm pads or whatever, and the advisor will be like, that is Ahsoka from before. We've got to bust her out. So they'll go bust out Ahsoka, and Ahsoka will be like, yeah, no, these two dumb bitches want to come with me as well. They've got a ship over there. It's called the Silver Dildo. We've got to go fly that into Chancellor Palpatine's house because he's the Emperor, and we've got to save the universe from the Emperor because he's building Daleks, and we can't have that. But they're going to the Mandalorians will rescue Ahsoka and that shit or something like that. Or, I don't know, the greatest pilot in the galaxy will just somehow touch the cell walls and turn it into a spaceship and it will fly away out of the building. Fucking Jesus Christ. But they'll escape. And hopefully at the end of the episode, hopefully midway through the episode, they get back to Coruscant or something. Or like just the two sisters fuck off on the Silver Dildo, and Ahsoka goes with the Mandalorians, and they go to Anakin because the Mandalorians are like, mate, we need help because Darth Maul's being a prick, so let's go get Anakin and Obi-Wan and like the entire Republic to just come and kick him in the horny dick. And they're like, yeah, sure, we could do that. But because we know the Mandalorians are there to actually get help, because one of the Mandalorians is like, with her being here, will this complicate things? I think what might happen is it will complicate things, and the entire reason the Mandalorians went there to get help will be shot, so they have to then turn to the Jedi for help, and then that's probably where the arc kicks off.
Yeah.
I swear to God, Rafa has to die.
I know.
Rafa does not die. I am going to personally just fly over there. I'm I'm gonna transform into the Silver Angel itself, and I'm gonna fly over there, and I'm gonna kamikaze straight into Disney's animation department where they make this. I'm gonna grab Dave Filoni by his fucking cowboy hat, and I'm gonna be like, listen, mate, what are you doing? You've wasted 2 episodes too much on this thing. This should have been a 2-episode arc at the most. We could have had 1 episode and then just another episode where Ahsoka was being a whingy little emo child crying in a bedroom. That would have been better than this. And if he doesn't sort this shit out, I'm gonna turn into the Silver Angel again, and I'm gonna kamikaze my way through Disney for everything Disney. I'm gonna destroy Disney from the inside out as a ship that they created, and then just for pure irony, I'm gonna gather up the pieces of Disney and form my own animation studio company, movie studio called Dickney, and we're just gonna recreate everything they've done, but everybody's gonna have dicks on the faces. So you can expect, Iron Man shooting dick lasers. You can Mickey Mouse with dick fingers. I'm too pissed off at the fact that they've gone 4 episodes. I can understand 3 to 4 episodes for the Bad Batch, right? That made sense because we actually had a full character development for everybody. For this one,
having Echo
nothing. It's literally just Ahsoka's bike breaks. Hey, can I fix my bike? Yeah, sure. Hey, you want to help me, my sister, with these robots? Yeah, sure, whatever. Hey, you want to pilot this ship? Because apart from the fact that there's several billion, possibly trillion people on this planet, you're the only person who can fly? Yeah, sure. What should we do with the spice? Just stick it up our butts. No, we're not going to stick it up our butts. We're going to jet it out into space. Where's the spice? I'm not going to tell you, even though telling them that it's in space
is going to be
the best thing because they would just fuck off and go and take it from. It's the most pointless series of episodes. So next week's episode, what I want is Ahsoka and the other 2 fucking idiots to just separate. Ahsoka either goes with the Mandalorians or goes back, or they all go back to Coruscant and they separate their ways, and then the Mandalorians call for help, and then we get off into the Mandalorian arc and we actually get some fucking stories, not just stupid.
I mean, I'm also looking forward to now that it's kind of all but confirmed. Obviously, there are heavy rumors. I don't think there's been an official confirmation from Disney and Lucasfilm about Ahsoka appearing in The Mandalorian season 2 in live action form. So obviously, we know there's not much left of the Mandalorian race and the Mandalorian people. Well, that's not a race, but Mandalorian people. And so maybe that's kind of how Ahsoka ties into the Mandalorian season 2. Obviously, we know that group of Mandalorians that was kind of hid out under that town on Navarro in season 1. So we know that group, and we know they kind of all either left or all died after they kind of sacrificed themselves for Mando and the child, Baby Yoda. And so I think maybe somehow it'll tie into Ahsoka will be tied in The Mandalorian by being kind of with either the Mandalorian people, maybe building off of a friendship that she's going to develop with them in this final arc if they take her with them to Mandalore to fend off Maul and defend their planet. And obviously we'll see the planet Mandalore basically be completely stripped and destroyed, like we've heard in tales from all different Star Wars canon after the events of the Clone Wars. So I mean, I think Ahsoka is going to I'm kind of hoping along the lines of what Captain was saying, that we're going to end up seeing Ahsoka being with the Mandalorians and kind of the Siege of Mandalore arc starting kind of at the tail end of this episode. I would have liked to thought that the tail end of the episode that we just got, episode 7, I would have liked to think that tail end of that episode would have had the beginning of this the Siege of Mandalore arc, but obviously we were not so lucky, and we got the crapshoot that was this escape chase that just ended up exactly where we started. But I mean, other than that, I mean, I don't really have anything else to say on kind of moving forward, because I agree with a lot of things the captain said, that just kind of, hopefully the end of this episode will set up the Siege of Mandalore arc and wrap up the season as a whole. But so I mean, yeah, that's really all we have to talk about today. So I mean, yeah, kind of a episode on the shorter side, but there's really no other news circulating around for the time being. So Captain and Leo, if you guys want to just, if there's any other things that you guys want to touch on before we wrap it up.
No, nothing for me. Captain, what about you?
Send help.
All right, so that's the SOS call. So yeah, so with that wraps up our episode for today. So thank you all for tuning into episode 9 of the Chosen Ones Star Wars podcast. Yeah, and so we hope you guys all can continue to stay safe out there. And we hope you guys enjoy episode 8 of the Clone Wars, which we are getting this Friday. Hopefully it will be a lot better than the last 3 episodes, and maybe kind of salvage something out of this pretty much wasted 4-episode arc. And yeah, so we'll see you next Monday.
Peace.
See you, everybody.